these things would be things that we would hope would grow down the road. So we are facilitators of programming, and you folks have come to us with a marvelous proposal to make that happen.
Thank you. I don't know whether we have the...
I'm off my soapbox.
You should put the table over in front of you.
Okay. We have the report here that we had from the last meeting. Bruce tabled the request. Thank you for clarifying some of that and explaining that to us. So, there was a request at the last meeting to authorize staff to sign the memorandum of understanding and request a formal agreement be drafted with the understanding that nothing is binding until the formal agreement is approved by council.
I move that recommendation.
Second by Councilman Blair. Questions to that? All those in favor? Carried. Opposed? Carried.
Mr. Mayor, on a point of personal privilege, the councillor from Ward 4 has now led me into this, so I have to raise it because it's been raised with me by a couple of business providers. The councillor has just reiterated again that we do not offer programming in this municipality. We build facilities. But in fact, and please just follow the argument with me here because I'm trying to do what I should be doing here as a municipal elected official, trying to represent this corporation and save it from perhaps liability. I am not anti-YMCA. I just want to start with that. I'm not anti-YMCA. I am pro-fairness. So when this first was raised with me about the YMCA offering programming for which taxpayers were paying, and we do, we pay in the YMCA at the Wellness Center at the Shores, we pay them to deliver programming, so we do offer programming. We're paying for this one to offer programming, so we do offer programming. There are two pieces of legislation in this country. One is the Ministry of Consumers Competition Act, which says it protects Ontarians from unfair business practices. The second is the Federal Competition Act, whose purpose is to maintain and encourage competition in Canada in order to, one of its points, to provide consumers with competitive prices and product choices. So when I was provided with the breakdown from the YMCA and membership numbers from last year, I noticed that the word subsidy was in there, and no charge and assisted program. So here's the issue that I think we need a legal ruling on so that we can move ahead with contracts like this and fairly say to our private sector people in Lambton Shores that yes, we are doing a fair business practice. I'm going to ask, and I'm going to send the CAO my concerns in the morning, but I need support from council on a motion tonight. I think we need a legal opinion that a contract with a charitable organization such as the YMCA, who is international in scope and has a number of means at its disposal to offset costs and to offer subsidies, if we're going to enter into those agreements where the taxpayers will in fact be subsidizing some of these subsidies, I just want to make sure we're not in violation of the spirit of either the federal or provincial Competition Act. So I would like council to support direction to our municipal lawyer to investigate and make sure we're on solid footing before we enter into another agreement with the with this particular corporation.
So you're making that a motion that we ask for a legal opinion?
Yes.
Dealing with that?
Yes.
Councillor Russell will second. Councillor Ullman?
And I have no difficulty with that, but I do wish to correct the councillor from Ward 2. In the past, Lambton Shores was strictly a provider of facilities. Now, with adoption of this agreement, we facilitate the development of programming. We still don't provide programming, but we facilitate those arrangements. We have a couple of business plans that we're going to look at very shortly for the Shores and for the Legacy Center. An additional issue that was identified in the Record Leisure Plan that we need to deal with is the whole issue of access to programming. And that's something that we definitely need a policy. There are practices in this municipality. We waiver fees for several community groups and organizations. We've made it a practice. We still don't have that policy that the Rec and Leisure Master Plan indicates that we should have. And it gets to the aspect of subsidies, of fee waivers, of all of those kinds of things. And I think this is a policy area that we're deficient in. And based on the report that we're going to see shortly, it's one of the things that our staff is going to look at, so that we will have that policy document that does indeed support what current practices are. I have no difficulty with getting a legal opinion on any of this.
Councilor Underwood.
I just want to understand the motion. So we're going to be asking for a legal opinion in reference to the Federal and Provincial Competition Acts as to whether we are in violation of the Competition Acts, even though we're looking at a partnership between a non-profit organization, and municipality versus a private for-profit organization, or I just want to get my head around it.
Can I clarify? We're not talking about offering programs. What we're saying is, and we're not talking about entering in with a nonprofit. This is a charitable organization that has a very different relationship with Revenue Canada than a private sector business person, right?
Yeah.
So the concern that was raised with me that I am now presenting tonight is, it's not about offering programming. It's about a municipality using general tax dollars to enter into an agreement with a charitable organization, which then in turn offers subsidies for its programming that Lambton Shores tax dollars are enabling. Versus a private sector person that if we entered into an agreement with a private sector person that maybe we don't offer you any subsidy, we don't pay you anything, there's a facility, you pay the rent, you pay the program, you lose money, it's on your head.
All right, now I understand.
Okay?
That's
It's about fair business practice.
Councilor Russ.
And further to that, my thought, I would go further than Councilor Bonesteel. It's the whole idea of the why people. I think it's great that you guys read the paper and you're so proactive. I mean, we have more people like that, proactive. I think that we offer these things up in the fullness of time through a recreation plan to the more, right? To get better pricing, et cetera, et cetera. It's competition, and that's what it's all about. We have private sector providers as well. Maybe they wouldn't want to, but I think that's what part of what Councilor Oman was talking about. I think in the fullness of time, we have to look at and listen to things, but we look at it in an open book way. I think that's important too. So let Barry say something.
Okay. Councilor Scott.
You always give me that.
Well, I wanted to.
You remember where I'm going next, don't you? Okay, I met with Brent and with Kevin at the Portland Community Center, and we took a look at the community center and different things we do there. And one of the things that we talked about was the fact that there's a soccer field there, and there's a little baseball diamond, and we have the skateboard park and stuff like that. And we all agreed as a group that indeed people are unaware that it's there, right? It's just, they're not being utilized by the public very much. People come into the playground and play, but they don't really, there's not a team using it or anything else. So I think part of our problem as a municipality is that a lot of times people just don't know what's where and what's available. And so I think that where it ties into this is the fact that with the Y coming in and offering programs, we have things out there that maybe other partners would be willing to use if they knew they existed.
But the motion is to whether it's in competition and
Whether it's compliant with the.
compliant with the Competition Act. So that's what we're talking about right now.
That's all I'm asking.
Yes, I recognize a very specific motion here, but I just want to make one comment with regards to competition. I think we as a council have a responsibility to be due diligent in finding the most competitive prices. We are sitting at, recreational leisure now sits at about 25% of our budget. And that's because we've gotten into a lot of facilitation programs, and we have responsibility to be cautious. There's a finite amount of money out there, and we can't be just moving beyond things that are essentials, infrastructure, et cetera, into soft programming type things without some caution and ensuring it's at the most competitive price possible. So I do appreciate that there is something that we have to be looking